Thomas Holbein here with the South Texas Voice, reporting from Nueces County Courthouse, where the early elections have started here in Nueces County. There's a lot of heated races going on. There's a lot of excitement going on, and we encourage everyone to come down and vote. That's what this is all about. This is about early voting. Come out, know your candidates, know who you're voting for, and make your vote, because your vote counts. It's your vote that makes change, and without your vote, you don't have a right to an opinion. So if you want to be able to speak out and know who your leadership is, you want to come down and vote. We're here at Nueces County Court, right here at voting headquarters. We want to get some words from some of the candidates. There's some races like Tim McCoy and Melissa Madrigal running for County Court number 5. That's a really good race. That's a very important court. There's Mary Helen Belanga and Lloyd Neal running for County Judge, another big race. And there's Diana Barrera versus Kara Sands for County Clerk. So we want to make sure everyone's informed and knows what's going on, where to vote. Come down here to the courthouse. You can vote at City Hall. You can vote here. You can vote at the building over on McArdle for the deaf. So there's several places all over the city where you can cast your early vote. So I want to thank personally all the sponsors of the special election edition of the South Texas Voice. We want to thank all of the candidates that participated in the paper that's fixing to come out. It's a very exciting election edition of the paper. Candidates like Mr. Sam Houston running for Attorney General, and Mr. Mike Collier running for State Comptroller, and Ms. Kim Gonzalez running for a district position here in South Texas. There are several races going on, and we want to make sure that you get out and vote. Now, in City Council, there is a lot of people running, and this is one of the biggest races for the city. And what people need to know is the candidates are running for the different positions that represent our city. And from the people, what the candidates need to know is when we talk about our issues, to listen to the people. And here's an example. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. One is the annex of the Chapman Ranch area to prevent the wind farm growth. Now, there were several people down there that opposed the annexing. They said that the wind farm was going to interfere with airspace, and that they were against the wind farm. But at the same time, when you annex this area, it's going to take 30 years to develop it. The city taxpayers are going to have to pay taxes for a long time to develop this area, to put the roads and the sewage areas in. And if the wind farms were going to cause a problem for airspace, the federal government would shut it down. And so there's a lot of issues there that for the city needs to pay attention. When people say, look, we're not for this annexing because we're going to pay the taxes. Okay, when they annexed Flower Bluff 34 years ago, and all the city taxpayers have been paying taxes on an area that still hasn't been developed 34 years later after they annexed it. So my point is, why annex an area that's going to take 30 years to develop and cost taxpayers money? To the candidates running for city council, they're going to elect someone that will listen to them. They don't want it to go in one ear and out the other anymore. That's the feeling they get when they go down to city council. And so, speaking for the people, we want to elect city council officials that are going to listen to the issues and listen to the people and not go through the motions. Very important. So think about that, all the candidates running for city council. Now, what I'd like to do at this time is bring on one of the candidates for County Court number 5, Mr. Tim McCoy, who's running against Melissa Madrigal. Tim, come on in.
How you doing?
Doing good. Tim McCoy, would you like to share with the people why you're qualified, why you want to run for County Court number 5, who you are? Take it away.
Absolutely, and I appreciate you asking. When I started my legal career, first of all, I grew up in Corpus. I graduated from King High School, went off to college and law school, and then came back here to start my legal career. And from the very beginning, I started practicing County Court of Law number 5. I've been there, 10, 12 years now. I've handled every type of case that comes through that court, from the juvenile adjudications to your CPS cases to guardianships, Justice Court appeals. Now, of course, no one will argue this is the most important court in the county, because anytime a child gets in trouble, they're going to end up over here, whether it be through neglect or or other legal issues. They're going to end up in Court 5, and the decisions made there greatly affect the families of this county. And that portion of my law practice has become a passion of mine, because you really can do good work over there. You can really make a difference, and that's what I want to continue to do, working in Court 5.
Okay. Would you be more for putting families together through rehabilitation? I know CPS, there's a lot of CPS cases over there. It's a very emotional, tough court. It is one of the most important in the county. When it comes to families, what is your stand? What is your stand on when children are having to be removed from the home and to put those families back together?
Well, as a judge, you follow the law, and the law states that it's your obligation and your duty to try to reunify the family. And so, in a number of those circumstances, every family that is divided and every child that's removed, you're going to have an opportunity to rehabilitate, to participate in services, and to get the help that you need, if the removal is, of course, legitimate, and if it's if the child needs to be removed, obviously. But you'll have an opportunity to work through your case and be reunited with your family and have your family reunited. That's the law. And of course, not everybody lives up to their end of the bargain. And unfortunately, you have a number of cases where there's hardcore drug issues, neglect, or the families abandon the children, and in that case, your only choice is to terminate.
It's sad when a lot of the cases in this court, the children are the victims, and the responsibility, it lies on the parents for their irresponsibility, being addicted to drugs or alcohol, and therefore they need the rehabilitation. So are you pro for adult rehabilitation, rehab programs to try and help these people? But of course, they have to want to help themselves.
Right, absolutely. And again, in that court, that's what they're going to be offered. You're not going to have an individual arrested for drug possession and end up in County Court at Law number 5. If they're in front of Court 5 with an issue with drugs or alcohol, a hardcore issue with drugs or alcohol that led to the removal of a child, then they're going to be offered the help they need. Now, whether or not they follow through with it, that's up to them. And I'm all about taking responsibility for yourself, and especially when kids are involved. It's a parent's duty to take care of their children, and if they choose drugs over a child, I'm sorry.
Zero tolerance zone.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
zero excuse limit, zero. So, to the voters, what would you like to say to the voters right now? Why, and give them every reason to vote for you.
Well, like I said, this is a passion of mine. I've done the best work in my legal career has been done through County Court 5. I'll have if I end up taking the bench, I'll have more experience than anybody that's ever taken the bench in there. I've handled every type of case that comes through the court. It's known as the family court because the majority of the docket deals with family. I'm a family man. I have 2 children, 5 and a 9-year-old, great kids, and I think that's important. I think you have to have been a father or been a mother or raised children in order to have empathy for children that come in front of your court. So and as far as legal and life experience goes, I think there's no question that I'm the most qualified.
Mr. Tim McCoy, running for County Court number 5. Come down for early voting. His opponent is Melissa Madrigal. We are going to try and get a word with her if she's available. But we want to thank you very much for taking time to speak to the South Texas Voice.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you, and best of luck. The main thing is to get out and vote. That's most important. We want you to get out and vote. And Tim.
And remember my name, that too. Timothy McCoy. I'm first on the ballot, and it's under Timothy Jordan McCoy. Thank you.
Tim, thanks again.
Always a pleasure. Have a good one.
We'll see you soon. So there was Tim McCoy from County Court number 5 race, and we want to encourage everybody to get out, get involved. I was at a leadership meeting recently with the U.S. congressmen and with leaders, elected officials from all over South Texas, and we all agreed on one thing: the infrastructure has to change. It starts with the infrastructure on the small scale to the large scale. If everybody gets involved and does their part, then change begins to happen. So that's the most important thing. If people don't pay attention and they don't vote, then they don't have a right to an opinion. Okay, so you have no control over your leadership, and you have no voice to say, hey, why are taxes going up? Why are our water rates going up? You know, when we're rationing water. And so it's important. You know, if you vote, then you have a right to an opinion. You have a right to come down to City Hall and voice yourself. And the South Texas Voice is here to do its best to cover the elections. And we're excited about all of the candidates that are racing in all the races abroad. Now, there are other issues that are going to be coming up in this race, and all the candidates are doing everything they can to get themselves out in front of the people. So we encourage everyone to read and pay as close attention as possible so you can come out and elect the officials that you support. Well, we want to make sure we bring you the best information and coverage we can for the South Texas Voice. This is Thomas Holbein, your editor for the South Texas Voice, here at Nueces County Courthouse, covering the early voting. And we encourage everyone to come out and vote. I'm standing here with Mark Warner, that is going to run for County Court number 4. And Mark is going to take time. Thank you, Mark, for stopping to talk to the South Texas Voice. It's always an honor to talk to you and see you. A great man here. Gun advocate, believes in the right to carry guns, and great Texan on top of that. Mark, let the voters know why you're running, what qualifies you, and why should they vote for you.
Well, I think that people in the legal community who are familiar with me know I know the law well. I've got a very even temper. I think my temperament makes me suited for the courtroom. Probably in large part why I got the support of the bar in the judicial preference poll. I've always been a great admirer of Judge Klager, and I just thought it was appropriate that when he finally stepped down that I'd be the one to take his place.
That's great. That's great. And when you're judge, how are you going to run your courtroom if you're elected judge?
Well, I think one of the things I'm going to try to do is reduce the caseload. As you may be aware, all the county courts are backed up heavily with criminal cases that keep getting reset, and they're not getting to trial until years have literally gone by. What I'm going to try to do is move things along a little more quickly. Probably going to force people to work a little bit harder and try more cases. And I think we'll get it done. It's definitely possible to get it done. And I think with my reputation for being fair, I'm hoping both the DA and defense attorneys will agree to have me try the case without a jury, do bench trials, and I can move a lot of cases doing bench trials, probably 3 or 4 times as many as move right now.
I think a lot of jurors would appreciate that also, not having to be called down here to the courthouse, be for jury's duty, and let's just let the judge handle business. I like the idea. And I know your opponent's Carlos Valdez, and I remember talking to you before the election started that y'all both agreed to stay positive, don't get in a mudslinging match, and have a respectful race. And I respect that. I happened to run into Carlos at a Hooks game, and he validated that. So he said, yes, we do have an agreement. We're not going to go negative and have a mudslinging match. But we have 2 good candidates for County Court number 4. Mark Warner here is certainly qualified and is a very good attorney here in Corpus Christi, Texas. And we wish you the best. What do you have to say to the voters? Why should they vote for you?
Well, Carlos obviously is a very experienced attorney. We've known each other ever since he was county attorney, and we've tried many cases on opposite sides. But I think I have certain qualifications, such as being board certified in criminal law. I've been board certified since 1989, and I have a broad range of experience, but it's mostly in the courtroom. That's where I am all the time. Whereas I think Carlos has been more of an administrator. I think he'd certainly be more qualified to be district attorney if I was running against him for that position, but I think for a position on the bench, I think the amount of time I've spent in a courtroom hopefully will be a deciding factor for people. So that's what, and we have run a positive race. We don't, both of us feel that you don't want to demean a judicial race by, you know, slinging mud, and it just isn't something I think the voters want to see anyway. So that's why we've kept it positive. We're friends. We've been friends a long time, and I didn't want this race to change that.
That's great, and the man is very experienced in criminal law and has tried many cases. With no question, you're qualified to be elected a judge. So we thank you very much for your time, Mark. We wish you the best of luck. Folks, look for his name on the ballot. Come down for early voting. That's what this is all about. We want to encourage everyone to come out and voice your vote, cast your vote, and let's all participate. It's the infrastructure that counts, and we don't. So far, Nueces County has the second highest ratings for early voting in the state of Texas. We have set a record for early voting. Nueces County is right now the second county in the state for early voting. So that's something to be said for. People are starting to get involved.
I think if we had as many people voting as we have signs out here, we'd be in good shape.
I would agree. I would agree. As many people are eating breakfast tacos, and if they voted, we'd be in great shape, right? Mark, have a great day. Thank you for your time, sir. Well, the South Texas Voice is going to do everything we can to make sure you know the candidates, make the vote that you want to make. I'm Thomas Holbein, the editor of the South Texas Voice from Nueces County Courthouse. Thank you, and make sure you get out and vote.